次の仕事は
God damn.
Hey yo, you better say something, bro. You better stop playing with my emotions.
Well, it means that the insanely powerful Golden S can get that much stronger by absorbing all of these Black S's. The next chapter will no doubt be interesting to see. Will King buy time, or will
what's gonna happen with King? God damn it!
By Saitama and Blast. Can't wait to see what happens. But wow, it was heartbreaking seeing Tatsumaki in that shape, and Genos desperately tried to help her.
I kept my shoes down
for how well he illustrated that panel and infused with so much feeling. But anyways, that is it for this chapter. Let me know what you thought of this chapter and what you expect to see happening next. How many more chapters will we have to wait for Saitama to show up? That's the million-dollar question, so leave your guesses below. Eventually we'll see.
I know, right? What the hell is this guy doing?
MVP
Jesus Christ. Hell yeah, Genos, you crowned the MVP, homie.
He was trying so desperately to save Tatsumaki, a true hero. I love seeing their dynamic develop, and I look forward to seeing a God-willing, healthy Tatsumaki thanking Genos for all this in her own tsundere way. Metal Bat was good too, though, for actually being like the only heroes to overcome the enemies that jumped him this chapter, even though it was just like 4 Black S's. And that is it for this one. Thanks so much for watching. As always, if you do enjoy seeing these One Punch Man videos, then you know what to do. Channel the Kate Baldy within and smash that like button until it's blue.
Hey, what's up, man? You know what, bro? I already know this probably will never happen. But if I ever start popping off because of streaming for some weird reason, and uploading YouTube videos.
We are talking about Deku and his descent from being.
I'm hooking you up, man. I'm hooking you up.
Chapter 319.
Let's just say that.
The dynamic between the other UA students and Deku's ambition
I
to
killed
leave them
Engard
behind due to
for
safety
the
concerns. The problem with Deku's desire is that it
fourth
falls under
time.
some criticism of trust and judgment.
Damn, hell yeah, bro.
Students feel like Deku should
I remember you talking about that yesterday.
resolve as well to be selfless heroes that can change hero society
Pretty sure
for
you
the better,
were.
just like him, rather than Deku taking on all the burden for himself. In a way, a lot of them also feel like Deku could be looking down upon them due to being weak in comparison to him, implied through the idea that they will be injured or in the way of Deku's fights. Loki, his fights is true, but I did it in a very good school, right? Yo, I'm joking, I'm joking.
Well, let's be nice. Let's be nice. We don't have to go there. I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it.
Stupid.
In the recent chapters has changed, even though he's the one
These guys always put up something funny. Freaking balls deep. Hilarious. One day I will do anime reviews. One day. Maybe when Berserk comes back around. I don't know if you know this, but on my YouTube I freaking uploaded a video of myself and I made flamin' hot mac and cheese, grilled cheese, and it got about like 19,000 views, surprisingly. Like, I was dumbfounded, honestly. Like, usually when I upload a video it like gets like a couple likes, you know, like if that, more like a couple views. I mean, I have a couple though that are yeah, I know, right, dude? Like, I was really surprised, bro. And then like if you look at my YouTube channel, like I just barely hit 100 subscribers too. But if you see my YouTube channel, like I have a few well, not a few, I have quite a lot of videos on there, you know. But like there's like other shit that I have on there, like when I'm not gaming. I can upload it. I still have videos to upload too if I wanted to, like me working at Amazon, like just chilling with my friends. Yeah, I got quite a bit of videos I can upload. Yeah. You know, once I get a PC one day, oh my god, you don't even know, bro.
Very odd, so it must mean they are hiding something, especially considering in chapter 302, Endeavor and Shota had decided to go after Toya Todoroki together. Jiro mentions that All Might hasn't come back either. These students are
I don't think I'm ever gonna pass 20,000. I don't think I'm ever gonna get to 20,000, like, or even hit that number in any other video I make. Like, I can't believe that video got so many views. I feel like I will not get another video like that ever again. I feel like that's like my once in a lifetime thing. I mean, I play this game a lot though too. Like, I'm playing this damn game like 3 days after it came out, and I've just been on it. Yeah, they really do. It's just hard to come up with something because the second you even think about it and then search it up, there's already something, it's already there, you know? Like, it's so hard to come up with a unique video. Like, I don't think anybody thought to fucking put the, because it was flaming, it was legit hot Cheeto mac and cheese by Kraft, you know? And I don't think anybody thought to put that inside a grilled cheese. There's a chick who was on there and she made she made one with she made a quesadilla one. So flaming hot quesadilla. I think grilled cheese is danker.
So the principal tricked Endeavor as he thinks he should listen to what the class has to say. Shoto yells at Endeavor for keeping him in the dark.
Yeah. Like, I'm also trying to like figure out like something someone's gonna want to rewatch, you know, or like just like post a funny ass video, something.
Is what saved him against Derby back.
Yeah, they really do. They really do.
Ostracizing him. Endeavor doesn't want to hurt the bonds he has healed once again, rising like a phoenix from the scars of wounds he has. However, Shoto's Todoroki, he isn't convinced.
He could be really bad.
Midoriya is the exception. He then addresses his father not as a dad, but Endeavor by his name as the pro hero. He is upset that the #1 hero is letting Deku and All Might act together, where the same mistakes are being repeated and the students are not being treated equally in certain regards. In Shoto's perspective, Endeavor, who messed up their family in a selfish pursuit of beating All Might with his kin, is repeating the same selfish behavior which made him so unhero-like. Only this time it's selfishness to protect his newborn bond with Shoto Todoroki. With this envisioning and philosophy, Endeavor can understand and see that Deku is going the same dark path as him in his pursuit of wanting to save everybody and being alone. So Endeavor, who put so much on Shoto's or Toya's shoulders, doesn't want to do the same anymore as he has seen what it leads to. However, instead of his family, now he has put this burden on Deku. Bakugo interjects, stating that All Might and Deku were working together. He says that Endeavor doesn't understand anything about it. Deku never takes himself into account while saving others or protecting them. He claims that this is fine, and this is also how All Might became the symbol of peace with this mentality. All Might didn't care for himself at all, just like Deku. Saving others always came first. If we look at the Vigilante manga, there it is shown that All Might worked 3 days and nights straight with no rest. This others come first mentality can also be seen with All Might's first battle against All for One, where half of his respiratory system was absolutely crushed, almost killing him. However, he did not retire. He wanted to keep saving people even after Night Eye's prophecy of how All Might would die in 6 years. Bakugo concludes that we can't leave these two alone. Instead of a villain, we already saw in chapter 318 how Deku could barely jump against the dictator due to his body being at work for who knows how long. If you didn't have a clue what I'm talking about right now, or you don't know anything about the Vigilante manga, I highly suggest to watch my video regarding how strong All Might was in his prime. We explain in complete detail of his story. This is so prevalent in the manga right now. You must hit the notification bell for our channel to stay up to date with our community, and please smash the like button because it helps supports us more than you know. Now, in chapter 319, Endeavor remembers them discussing how Hawk's genius and him need to keep Deku in check so he doesn't overpace himself. And that's when he realizes the students are correct. He is following the same dark path as himself.
Oh, why would you put him right there?
Yes, Deku and All Might's location to the students, signaling to them that they can go help him. The classmates state that even if they only know Deku, they still need a connection with it. He is their friend that has helped them in this 1 year alone to change people. So how can they smile tomorrow knowing that their friend is walking such a lonely and toxic path alone? They will follow Deku wherever he goes. This gives us another clue that the ending of My Hero could be Deku sharing the quirk with every one of his friends to defeat one, boosting all of their quirks and power. As all of these characters share importance and have the will to be selfless heroes that want to save others and reform society. all the students share the same responsibility and can take on the burdens together, rather than one person alone, metaphorically embodying the meaning of one for all in the first place. Especially since Horikoshi did mention
That shit would be
every
sick.
character would play a role in the ending, and this was one of the original ending ideas he had, which ended up being in the Heroes Rising movie, with one for all being shared to Bakugo. So finally, once they get the location and information they need from Endeavor and Nezu, Class 1A arrive on the scene and capture the escaped villain, working for All for One, which is Dictator. This then also frees the civilians who had been puppets attacking Deku, and suddenly Bakugo sarcastically mocks Deku, calling him the great successor of One for All. Now I'll be passing on the video to Yusuf as he will explain more of the philosophy and the last few pages of the chapter. Now, Bakugo's question to Deku, if he can still keep smiling, is actually a valid one. As we pointed out time and time again, in pursuit of defeating All for One, Deku has become a dark, lonely boy as his spirit is slowly dying from the trials and tribulations that he's been put through due to All for One's desire to steal the quirk and ultimately rule the world. Bakugo asking this question is important because the personification of Deku's very suit, when he first introduced it, symbolically showed a smile in his own choice of design, but now it's broken and tattered. We can even see the state of mind Deku is in. With his response to Bakugo sounding very similar to Eren, he states, "To be able to smile, for people to live in peace, I need to keep moving forwards." Now, this is completely understandable, especially since Deku believes it's his responsibility and he has to fulfill the gap that All Might left. One could even say that Deku has a bigger burden than All Might because he understands the inner workings of One for All, with the vestiges telling him his destiny, along with knowing the entire history of this fight, as he discovered that this is a century-long battle to defeat All for One, with countless people and heroes have lost their lives in the process of achieving the reality he's trying to succeed in. However, the problem is Deku's process of thinking, which led to him losing admiration to embody the essence of a true hero. You're probably wondering, what's so wrong with that, ABD? I don't understand. Deku is still able to get the job done, right? Well, let me give you guys an example to properly explain the perspective of others. Imagine your job is to be the best possible player in the world, and you love the sport so much. When you win a game, you get so high with endorphins that it gives you a sense of purpose and even a push. The love for the sport will push you further and further, and maybe even help you unlock your full potential. Now, let's take this into a different note. Perhaps you don't know basketball at all, but you have to play the world through your own rule. And let's say your father will beat your ass if you don't. And I ain't talking from experience, alright? Funny is, every time you lose a game, you get reprimanded. You play out of fear and under pressure, which ultimately makes you work better. However, eventually you will snap when you hit your breaking point. You will spiral out of control, feeling useless and unworthy. Now let's apply this to Deku. Currently he is saving lives due to killing.
Alright, see you later, bro.
After he saves one person, he moves on to the next, and then he can appreciate how that person is being for what he has accomplished. This is a direct contrast when he saved millions of others smiling, or even Kota that decides to call him my hero and wants to be like him. The whole point of saving someone with a smile was so that it inspires hope and increases morale in society. It also benefits the heroes that smiling, even when in a crisis, has psychological effects. As one study suggests that smiling can help us recover faster from stress and reduce our heart rate. So Deku, not smiling and looking so monstrous, not only affects those he saved, but also himself. This is exactly what All for One is trying to do. He wants to break Deku's spirit and will because that is the only way to absorb the One for All quirk. It's all a battle of wills. However, unlike All for One, Deku has real friends that cares about him beyond similar goals and desires. All for One has manipulated Shigaraki to combine his hatred with his desire, as he figured out that this was the only way to overpower the combination of the power the messages of One for All had. So this gives us a huge clue to how he can lose, by Shigaraki realizing the truth of this deception. Throughout My Hero Academia, Deku had been an inspiration to every generation, to All Might, to Kota, and
and to each of his classmates. He helped Shoto realize that his fire quirk belongs to him, therefore unlocking his potential. He helped Kurarika be motivated to do her best, Ida to not take revenge for what happened to his brother, and even Bakugo to reform his attitude to become a true hero like he was. Deku helped shape Bakugo to become the hero he is today. Like in chapter 284, Bakugo confessed to All Might he bullied Deku as he ignored his own weakness. However, from Deku, Bakugo grew to realize that it's okay to have flaws and not be perfect, and he should be working with his teammates focusing on saving others rather than thinking about self-accomplishments. In fact, on the topic of chapter 284, Bakugo actually predicted this outcome for Deku when he pointed out that Deku deep down doesn't take himself into account, and now that he has more power and can do much more, Bakugo felt something wasn't right. Bakugo was the first to see this sign, which led Deku to become the broken, tattered hero he is depicted to be, as Deku clashes with his friends, shouting, "Get out of my way!" But none of them are having it. Bakugo responds, calling Deku out, challenging him, saying that he's just a wannabe All Might.
So true.
This fight is going to be insane. In a way, it's a parallel to Mirio vs. UA. When Mirio was introduced as a super strong character with experience, he bodied all of them in single hits. Deku similarly now has an incredible arsenal of words. But this fight will showcase the difference between working as a team versus working by yourself. It will develop every single character involved, but also displays Deku's growth of one for all at the same time, therefore killing two birds with one stone. After this fight, Deku will realize that his friends are not weak, and they also have their own resolve. For Gang, the mission is to subdue Deku, forcing him to realize he still needs help. Not accepting help from those around him is exactly what everyone wants. Everyone wants Deku to do everything alone, so he can single him out more easily. So that's pretty much everything we would like to say for this week. Well, make sure to hit that notification bell for our channel to get updated every week. We also have some amazing clothing lines for sale, so if you guys are interested, the link will be pinned in the comment section below. But with that, thanks for joining, and I'll catch you till next time.
When the average citizen must resort to debt to keep the economy strong, your economy is bad. What is society's elephant in the room? The fact that all of our products are made by people in third world countries under various unethical circumstances. Everyone wants to get upset, but no one wants to give up their iPhone. As I post this comment on an iPhone, our level of wealth is unsustainable if we give all workers everywhere fair wages and safe working conditions. Our Western happiness depends on other people's suffering. This is the balance of the system. That the default human behavior is to want a selfish, comfortable and fairly predictable life. That's why people tolerate dictators, buy from Amazon, accept lower privacy rights, all in the name of stability and efficiency. Contrary to what a lot of social movements will have you believe, the main driving force for people isn't being nice to each other but securing a better situation for themselves. We get so easily triggered and offended these days, yet we're all incredibly immoral. It's just a matter of who discovers what to expose people. If everyone knew everyone's darkest secrets and most offensive things they've said, we'd be hooped. Can no one make a mistake without losing their career? I've said things that people would consider as racist or sexist, but I'm not racist or sexist. I absolutely believe in equality. Social media is a fucking powerful weapon that's pretty freely used to significant effect. I don't think it was designed that way per se, but it's evolved far quicker than laws around its use, hasn't it? It's an under police threat, even to people that consider themselves immune to most social media. I would also throw in the algorithm. Everyone knows about it, nobody really acknowledges, but we all know that curates what we see online as far as recommendations and ads go. It has a profile of you of what it thinks you like. And now we all have to be careful about what we search on Google, cause it might give the algorithm a bad idea and start suggesting weird things that aren't a reflection of you, which is dystopian as hell. I can't look up anything about my favorite anime outside of incognito because otherwise it starts giving me really creepy anime video game ads that I have 0% interest in for like the next 2 weeks. Microplastics, and the fact that so-called biodegradable plastics are no better than regular plastic. Plastic is plastic. It breaks down into smaller plastic. Why does no one talk about it? It's all about that sweet profit. Only a few months back a study found microplastics in the womb of a pregnant woman. The fact we haven't stopped manufacture and censured everyone responsible as proof will never solve the issue or even consider it until it's too late. Whose great idea was it to base our entire civilization's consumer base on solid oil anyhow? Work in college, at least in America, there is only about a dozen career paths that actually need a college degree, but society keeps pushing people to go to college. So what ends up happening is we have a society where a good chunk of people are educated, but do not have any marketable job skills and are working jobs that do not require any degree. I feel like a lot of colleges essentially take advantage of kids by not telling them the true cost of pursuing their dreams, breaking out the aforementioned scenario and probably never using their expensive piece of paper, and coming up with random degrees that sound good on paper, but don't make a lot of sense when you break it out. For example, my alma mater created an entrepreneurial center. I am not an expert in pedagogy or business, but what does this even mean? I thought the whole point of being an entrepreneur was to do your own thing, and how is going to college going to make me an entrepreneur? Or finding out that a degree in business management or psychology does not in any way guarantee you will work in those fields. This push for everyone to go to college is diluting the value of a degree. For example, I remember 10 years ago when having an MBA was cool. Now everyone and their mom has an MBA. So you have MBA grads working entry-level to mid-level jobs, which do not actually require a college degree, let alone a master's. In my opinion, this is marginalizing a good chunk of society who does not have the opportunity to go to college. For example, the McDonald's by my house prefers an associate to be a manager. Why? You don't want democracy. You want a dictator you agree with. The more political discourse I see, the more blatant this gets. I just finished reading Animal Farm in 1984 for the first time on the recommendation of my partner after seeing many people I know supporting the concept of fascism and totalitarianism. It blows my mind how caught up people get with cherry-picked details that they completely ignore the bigger picture within the ideology. The strangest part to me, and I'm fully open to someone explaining it from their perspective, are that people who support this ideology are not the ones who would benefit from the changes at all. A lot of people are having mental issues, and the dark question we're left with is, did previous generations have this and were just undiagnosed by an uncaring world? Or have we been uniquely mentally broken as a species? Someone replied, previous generations were undiagnosed, but the current generations have poorer coping habits and attitudes, which is compounded by poor work-life balance, stagnating wages, and information saturation. Plus the proper broken people in previous generations were thrown away in asylums, whereas now they're sat on street corners screaming at seagulls, so the extreme end is more visible. The antisocial impact of neoliberal economics. With every acquisition and merger that passes, the companies that control our lives are snowballing into an ever smaller group of ever larger megacorporations. These mega corporations, their exec-level individuals and their investors are better at hiding wealth in offshore bank accounts and shady investment vehicles than those of smaller businesses. They simply have no social remit, beyond a return on investment to their shareholders, whatever the wider social impact of that may be. As time goes by, every penny spent gets squirreled away to accounts in tax havens and less money goes to the bottom 90% of society, or into taxation, schools, roads, infrastructure, public health care. Our society is crumbling, our people are struggling and quality of life is suffering. And yet a change of economic course is simply not being widely debated. It simply has to be acknowledged, before it's too late, that not everything that is desirable, or even vital, to society is profitable. The obvious oligarch class that rules over most people, but we just pretend like we're better because democracy. Society is slowly slipping towards techno-feudalism where big tech and big corporations essentially run the country through lobbying. And people go to them for all their needs. And I don't think there's much that can be done to stop that slide unless there is big antitrust reform. The rich are definitely pulling enough political and media strings to suit themselves. If they can keep the poor and middle class arguing amongst themselves, then they can continue to churn out billionaires and increase their riches.
Hey guys, what's going on? Shabby Do here to bring you another Shabby experience within Genshin Impact. I just stumbled across this little gem here over in Luhua Pool. I had been over here killing some people around them, and all you do is come up here and read this to investigate. Let anyone who follows in the foot mind, but I'm just doing this to clear because I did shoot one of them over there real quick just to kind of see. And there we go, they all went out. So there is a sort of pattern here, and I haven't really tested much of it because I haven't exactly figured out what it is. I think I know, so I didn't want to test it and then it'd be right and not have this to show you guys. So I figured we'd do this together. So like I said, you just come here, start it up, and this is the kowtow to the treasure's gate. Well, there's a gate down here, and I'm assuming it's some sort of domain that we can unlock. And I also noticed that 3 of these pillars are broken, whereas these ones are not. So it makes me think something about these here. Also that they're directly in correspondence to the center, left, and right of the gate. So I was assuming that we have to light these 3 up. I don't know if there's a particular order. The clue doesn't mention anything about it. So I figured we'd just go, give these 3 a shot. And that's fine, because that one was lit up over there. So let's do this for real now. Perfect. Ooh, I better. Yeah, and that was right. So yeah, it's just...
Come. I'll take you all on at once. What's up? What's up?
Hello?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, turn that. Are you at the airport?
Yeah.
I'm watching you right now. That shit is loud as fuck.
Oh, I have my fan. I have like 2 fans on right now too. Yeah, I have a fan like literally blowing right into the mic. That's why it's like that.
Who's Preston?
I don't know. He's some guy that's been watching me play.
Never finish up, man. Alright, I'll start bothering you.
God damn! What is that?
Spider.
Holy shit! What is going on?
Alright, later.
Alright, man. What the fuck? Holy shit. What the fuck? I feel like there's supposed to be treasure here. Subtle dragon. Ha, you're frozen, you fucking jackass. Ha, you're still frozen, you fucking jackass. There you go, you can play with that for a while. Come on, Venti, what the hell? Oh, it's not, that was the commission. Didn't even know. You didn't even know it. Let's see. Where is that shit at? Where is that shit at, bruh?
Ate them and their eggs. Since I was a kid, I assumed they died out with the dinosaurs. Oxford University is almost 700 years older than the US, 300 years older than Machu Picchu, and 200 years older than the Aztecs. In 2096, it will have existed for 1,000 years. In 171 years, it will have existed for 50% of all time since 0 BC. Oxford, Cambridge, and Harvard didn't teach calculus when they first were founded because calculus as we know it didn't exist until the late 17th century. You can fit all the other planets in our solar system between the Earth and the Moon. If the Earth were a coin, Jupiter would be a basketball. All the other planets could fit inside Jupiter, but hadn't even contemplated that if Earth was at the center of Jupiter, the Moon would be outside the gas cloud surface. The Earth is over 90 million miles from the Sun. You could fit more than 100 suns in that gap. Singing and speaking are not processed in the same part of the brain. Music and math are processed in the same part of the brain. This explains why people with a speech stutter typically don't stutter when they sing. And why stroke survivors may lose all or most of their vocabulary, but can still sing songs. Particularly songs that are known so well you don't need to think about the words. Source: an acquaintance of mine conducted a choir of stroke survivors for her PhD. It is illegal to hunt whales in Utah, a landlocked state. So if I kidnap a whale from the ocean, and build a gigantic aquarium out in the wild in Utah, then arrange a hunting party to get the whale, I've broken the law? Would be funny if some billionaire like Elon Musk did this and got arrested. Totally worth it for telling people, well, I got some prison time for hunting whales in Utah. People go, but there are no whales in Utah? And Elon says, well, not anymore. An NFL game technically caused an earthquake. On January 8, 2011, the defending champion New Orleans Saints faced the Seattle Seahawks in a playoff game at Seattle's home stadium, which is notorious for its loud crowd noise. Late in the game, Seahawks running back Marshawn Beast Mode Lynch ran the ball 67 yards for a touchdown that basically secured the victory for Seattle. The crowd reaction was so intense that local seismologists later reported that their celebration registered on the Richter scale. The play has since been nicknamed the Beast Quake and is regarded as one of the best runs in NFL history. A strawberry isn't a berry, but a banana is. Banana trees aren't trees. They're herbs. So are tomatoes and cucumbers, but also not raspberries. Most fruits are actually berries. Take coconuts for example, melons and squash, grapes and cucumbers. Avocados are berries too. Moths cannot fly during an earthquake. They don't create much lift. They are basically only slightly more forceful than just gliding or blowing in the wind. During an earthquake, the sound waves in the air would create pockets of alternating denser and less dense pressure zones, and they would essentially experience the same thing that an airplane experiences high up in the atmosphere, turbulence. During the sudden drop in air pressure, they would fall. Sky pirates actually did exist. In World War I, the Imperial German Navy Zeppelin LZ-66 captured the Norwegian ship Royal on April 23, 1917. By dropping bombs in front of it, forcing the crew to abandon ship and board lifeboats. A boarding party from the Zeppelin went down, capturing the crew and ship, forcing the Norwegians to help them sail the ship back to Hamburg. While the Zeppelin shadowed them overhead, where the ship was sold to a German shipping company, and kept until it was scrapped in 1924. Alice Cooper babysat Keanu Reeves in Toronto. Cooper is only 16 years older than Keanu. He also played golf with the late R.C. Sproul, a famous Christian pastor. A scientist in Antarctica tried to murder his co-worker because he kept revealing him how his favorite books ended. It was the first arrest for attempted murder ever in Antarctica. A doctor there gave himself an appendectomy because his appendix ruptured and he was the only doctor there. On a happier Antarctica note, two researchers met matched unplanned on Tinder there in 2014. And one took a 45-minute helicopter ride for the first Antarctica Tinder date. Despite being the largest animal to have ever lived on Earth, as far as we know, the blue whale's throat is only about 4 to 8 inches in diameter. It could still inhale you, keep you inside its mouth, and then dive, where the pressure would crush you, assuming you didn't straight up drown. It's also possible its tongue would just crush you against the upper roof of its mouth. Sharks are older than trees. If you ever think of a Stegosaurus, or any other Jurassic era dinosaur, in its natural habitat, there wouldn't be any grass. Flowering plants didn't evolve until the late Cretaceous period. Alligators are closer related to birds than they are to lizards. When the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth Rock, Santa Fe had already been established as the capital of the Kingdom of New Mexico for 10 years. When the Pilgrims landed, one of the Native Americans named Tisquannon helped them out a lot. Turns out he'd been to Europe and spoke perfect English. Ireland is the only country on Earth that has a smaller population than it did in 1800. There are cities too. Granted, the largest, Dublin, still has only 1 million people. Most modern cities have a bigger population than all of Ireland. On the upside, the generations of immigration have produced a healthy spread of Irish pubs around the world. Mosquitoes were the species that killed the most humans. Yes, more than other humans. Technically, they're the transmitters of the diseases which kill humans. But yes, they're human enemy number one. To add, out of every human that has ever lived in recorded history, over half have died from either malaria or malaria-related complications. A human liver can be split into 2 halves and transplanted into 2 recipients. Each half will regenerate into a fully functioning liver. In living donation, a donor can donate half their liver and retain the other half. Both pieces will regenerate into full-sized livers. Because of living donation and my amazing aunt, I'm alive today. She gave me 75% of her liver in 2009 when I was 19. I turned 31 in a couple weeks and she's currently retired in Florida at 60. She's awaiting her first grandchild, my cousins, this month as well. Dolphins sleep with one eye open. It is called half sleep to avoid predators. More interestingly, half of their brain sleeps while the other stays mostly awake. Dolphins have to remain conscious, even when they are sleeping, shutting down only part of their brain. This is also because their breathing is not automatic, it is consciously controlled. In other words, dolphins have to actively decide when to breathe, and so they must be continually conscious to breathe. Depressed dolphins, in captivity, will sometimes die by simply not coming up for air. A natural predator of moose is the orca. Moose will swim to eat algae and seaweed and will wander deep enough for orcas to eat them. The Sphinx is so old that it was discovered buried in the sand and dug up again in around 1400 BC. Pharaoh Thutmose IV took the personal credit for the discovering and the digging out. It was presumably someone else who did the actual work, but the point still stands. So old in 1400 BC it was already buried and lost to history. The Monty Hall Paradox. You are on a game show where you are asked to choose one door out of 3. One of the doors has $1 million behind it. The other 2 doors have goats. Of course you want the $1 million, so you choose the door you want. Before the host opens the door to reveal your prize, he decides instead to open one of the other 2 doors to reveal the goat behind it. Then he asks you a question. Do you keep the door you've already chosen? Or do you switch to the other unopened door? Does it matter? Intuitive response says that it doesn't matter. With 2 doors left, we believe there should be a 50-50 chance remaining that you'll get either $1 million or a goat. Mathematical reality, however, you have twice as good a chance of winning the money if you switch, compared to staying on your original choice. You should always switch when given the chance.
What in the Matrix?
What is happening?
I'm a cartoon?
What's up, Doc? You gotta win this game.
Contrary to the myth that there is no gravity in space, astronauts on the International Space Station are subjected to approximately 90% as much gravity as people standing on the surface of the Earth. And for anyone reading this who's confused, orbits are a special type of free fall where you're moving so fast horizontally that the surface moves away from you at, on average, the same rate that you fall towards it. So even though astronauts on the ISS experience 90% of Earth's surface gravity, they have no normal force to create the sensation of weight. Or at least, that's the Newtonian explanation. The Einsteinian explanation is that they're on a straight line inertial path, and that space-time is curved around the Earth. But for something like orbits around a planet, the Newtonian explanation gives a sufficiently accurate solution. If you can't tell, I'm really into space. The body's muscles can only contract. The two ends pull together. Muscles cannot push. Pushing on something is muscles contracting. Sticking out your tongue is also a result of muscles contracting. Blinking your eyes is muscles contracting. There are muscle fibers in the tongue that run in several different directions. To stick the tongue out of the mouth, the fibers contract across the width of the tongue, which narrows the tongue width and causes it to become longer and skinnier, like squeezing a balloon to make it narrower. There are also muscles in the floor of the mouth that connect to the base of the tongue and help pull it forward. The first object put into space by humans may have been a half-ton steel lid that was welded over the shaft where an American underground atomic bomb was performed in 1957. The test blast, which occurred several months before Russia launched Sputnik 1, was much more powerful than expected, and propelled the lid upward at an estimated 125,000 miles per hour, many times escape velocity. The chief scientist for the test expressed doubt though. In his opinion, the heat of friction probably vaporized the lid before it could get all the way out of the atmosphere. Most likely nobody will ever know. There is a pizza place in Alaska that delivers by plane. For those who are curious, this is Papa Murphy's Pizza. This is not a pizza being delivered warm just out of the oven. They make the pizza fresh, and then it is frozen, and you cook it at home. Since it's made fresh, it's still better than something like DiGiorno's. Delivery is actually free to most communities they fly to, at $2 per pizza and a few others. A pepperoni pizza from Papa Murphy's Alaska is about $20 for what looks like a large pizza. Based on what I could find, a DiGiorno pizza there would be roughly the same price. Still really cool way to deliver pizzas to harder to reach locations. Crime is actually lower than it was 30 years ago, despite the media trying to see more militarized police. Whenever I tell people this, no one believes me. A controversial reason as to why crime rates have fallen is legalized, a word that shall not be mentioned on YouTube. It's almost like when people aren't under financial stress, they don't have to turn to crime. Legalized, a word that shall not be mentioned on YouTube is absolutely part of it. But I also believe that many people wouldn't be in a position where a word that shall not be mentioned on YouTube was their only option if we, for example, offered free, at point of service blah blah blah, healthcare, or if we had affordable housing and livable wages. Approximately half of pro-democracy protesters in Hong Kong are also pro-Trump. This seems to surprise a lot of people outside of Hong Kong, since Trump isn't what you think of when you think democracy movement. But almost my entire extended family is in Hong Kong, and it's definitely a thing. Even the Apple Daily, the pro-democracy newspaper that was shut down recently, was endorsing Trump. Thanks for listening to Radio TTS. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell for a free pizza, delivered by a submarine. Click the right box for the facts playlist. Let us know in the comments what you think about these stories.
Damn, did I just exit or something? What the heck? Oh my god, I really exited out of that shit? Are you serious? How? Oh my god, I don't even remember pressing those buttons. Fuck, man. God damn it.
射禁止。元気出してよ。お足元に気をつけて。ミュージックスタート。と相関化粧。えい。風雪の縮図。風だ。
裁きを受けよ。
Damn. Damn. I think I hurt that motherfucker a little. my god, I'm so annoyed by this damn fly right now. It's not even funny.
騎士団の奴らに相手をさせるべきだな。組合会にはまだ仕事が残っているんだ。君は休むといい。僕は仕事に戻ろう。騎士団の奴らに相手をさせるべきだな。 たまにはのんびりするのも悪くないな。組合会にはまだ仕事が残っているんだ。君は休むといい。僕は仕事に戻ろう。騎士団の奴らに相手をさせるべきだな。 たまにはのんびりするのも悪くないな。組合会にはまだ仕事が残っているんだ。君は休むといい。僕は仕事に戻ろう。騎士団の奴らに相手をさせるべきだな。たまにはのんびりするのも悪くないな。組合会にはまだ仕事が残っているんだ。君は休むといい。僕は仕事に戻ろう。 まにはのんびりするのも悪くないな。
Oh my god. Dying. Oh shit. Damn crabs. So this one time I was going to the liquor store, right? And then, no, it wasn't even a liquor store. It was actually a pizza shop. And I was with my brother. And we ordered our pizza, and we were just standing right outside in front of the door waiting for the pizza to be done. And then this homeless guy walks up. He's like, "Hey, you got a problem with me?" And then me and my brother were just standing there, and I was like, me? And he's like, yeah. He's like, why are you looking at me? But my back was towards the guy the whole time, keep in mind. And I said, I'm not even facing your direction, man. I was like, I'm just chilling, I don't have a problem with you at all, dude. And he's like, I got a knife. And I was just like, holy shit, are you serious? Yep. Pretty odd day turned out to be. Almost getting shanked by a homeless dude in front of a pizza shop. Just my luck. I think I'm gonna stop drinking coffee for a minute. Yeah. Go down! Wow, あれは西だに。Get your ass over here, frog. Get your ass over here, Navi. Yeah. Now I got 2 pets. Let's fucking go. Hey, look, listen. See you later. Dick. Okay. Fuck, I don't know. Video. Let's see what the fuck MTash came out with. Fucking early access still. Give a fuck about you playing early access MTash. Alright, let's see. Yeah, what the hell is that whole thing about Tectone fucking singing now? That was a little weird. Still love his content though. I gotta see this.
Men, this right here, crusty sandpaper. You don't want that. Get something better for your skin.
I finally.
Shut up.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know, we here at twitch.tv/Tectone and youtube.com/Tectone, we like to go a little bit outside of the box. So today, I would like to introduce y'all to a new concept, a new game show of sorts called a blood match.
Not even a god.
Now, a blood match is what we're going to use in the future to hopefully settle the differences of any content creators that have beef from here on out. But today, we have 2 lucky contestants that, once again, Ari and Massa, can you please say for the people watching at home that you consent to this?
Yeah, I consent.
No, you can.
No,
You
I'm just
have
kidding.
to say-
I consent.
Okay, good. Now, I've reached out to two of my friends here, Ari and Mass, and, I said, hey, do you want an opportunity to win $100? And they said yes! But here's the twist. We're going to be doing a little bit of a game show of sorts where these two beautiful contestants are going to have to fight 3 bosses. These boss times will be recorded. The person who clears 2 of the bosses the fastest will be the winner and win $100. But the loser, not only are they going to lose that $100 they could have got, but also the winner is going to get to go on their account and delete whatever artifact they want.
Oh my god.
No, they don't get to pick a bad one. They're going
Fuck
to delete
that
the
shit.
best artifact on that person's account because isn't that
I would
just
not
good
consent to that
drama?
bullshit.
Now, once again, these people 100% consented to this. To be honest, it was more so their idea than my idea. Let's just go ahead and get into it. Before you leave that comment saying, oh my god, how could you do this? Wasn't even my idea. Jack. Let's get into it. Now, while I have y'all here, Ari and Mass, and I would like to, show the YouTube homies a little bit about yourself. So, Ari, for example, can you at least talk about your passion for Genshin Impact and why you play and who your favorite character is?
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, I was one of those people watching all the videos right before the game released in September, and freaking out about it, being like, oh my god, I really want to play this game whenever it comes out. So ever since it's come out, basically played every day. I am a for fun player, so I just have a good time collecting characters if I pick them up, and doing the daily grind. My favorite character? It's a hard question. Right now, I really like Hu Chao for aesthetic, Klee because she's cute, Child because he's cool,
What is this?
Zhongli because he's Zhongli, and I really like Kazuha. He's so cool. Just because, I don't know, aesthetic is really nice, story is really nice, and I like the fact that you can get your enemies together and gather them.
Oh my god, okay. Fuck dude, get to the thing. Honestly, I
Good
really
luck.
don't care about
And,
this.
are you sure you want to use those 2 characters?
I
I'm
really
not done.
don't. It's not that great. Sorry, Tech. That's just not the video for me.
Shaking.
This whole Game Theory did a video on Genshin Impact? No way.
Someone getting rid of this? Looks like it.
I don't need an umbrella, but you can use one if you need.
To be honest, I was freezing even before the snow started.
As long as you stick to your own path, it doesn't matter what Mother Nature throws at you.
All the same, I wouldn't mind stopping to light a fire.
Guess we can rest a bit.
Hey Luke, can you do your thing? Burn! Much better. Hello Internet, welcome to Game Theory, the show that in terms of good jokes, has no good jokes. Today's episode is sponsored by Genshin Impact, which low-key ended up being one of the biggest video game releases of 2020. It's a free open-world action game available on PC, PlayStation 4 and 5, and mobile. Basically everywhere you would want to play it. And unlike a static by-the-numbers adventure, Genshin Impact is set in a living, breathing, changing world with new content being added all the time. In fact, a new update just dropped not long ago which added characters like the fiery Yenfei, the cold as ice Yuma. But what was perhaps most exciting about this update wasn't the new things that it added, but rather the old things that it brought back. Specifically, the return of everyone's favorite God of Contracts, Zhongli. Now, I get it, with a name like God of Contracts, you might think that this guy is some sort of glorified paper pusher, but nothing could be further from the truth. Not only is he a sharp dresser, an expert fighter, and a total shipper's dream, but as you'll come to see by the end of today's theory, I also believe Zhongli is bringing about an era of ruin to this game's world. It's my belief that he's set in motion a
series of events that'll send society into a technological dark age. You heard that right. This guy, this supposed hero of the game,
I don't like seafood.
is setting up a catastrophe that the characters in the game are going to have to struggle against in the near future. Or heck, maybe even a later update. It's at this point that the game's developers wanted me to make sure that I say that, while this is indeed a sponsored video, all the conclusions I'm about to share are mine and mine alone, and that this is pure hypothesis, game hypothesis, based on in-game dialogue and real-world evidence. Now, in case you're new to the world of Genshin Impact, let me quickly bring you up to speed. The game is set in the world of Teyvat, which is divided into 7 regions. Each region is ruled by a local god or archon, corresponding to one of the game's 7 different elements: Geo, Hydro, Pyro, Electro, Cryo, Dendro, and Animo. By the way, those last 2 are Greek to you. Well, that's because they literally are Greek. Animo means wind, and Dendro means tree. Zhongli, our main focus for today, is the human form of the Geo god, responsible for protecting the 2nd region of the game, Liyue. Now, Liyue is super important. It's the largest business and commerce hub in this entire world. This place is more capitalist than Elon Musk shilling for Dogecoin, to the point where the closest thing that they have to a ruling government is a council of 7 influential merchants and business leaders. Liyue is practically synonymous with prosperity and wealth. It's also home to the Golden House, the only place where the world's currency of Mora is minted. And not just minted, mind you, it's brought into existence by a literal god. And the man responsible is, you guessed it, Zhongli himself. You see, when he's not walking around complaining about seafood in his human form, Zhongli takes the form of a dragon named Morax, the divine figure that oversees Liyue and is responsible for creating Mora, the world's currency. Yes, the dragon god Morax creates Mora. He named the world's currency after himself. Talk about an egomaniac, am I right? Again, when you're an angry divine dragon, I guess you do you. Anyway, according to the in-game description, Mora is, quote, common currency, the one language that everybody speaks. And in the world of Teyvat, that does seem to be the case. All 7 regions use Mora as their money. Merchants everywhere around the world accept Mora in payment regardless of what region they're in. Okay, so why is any of this important? And why do I think that this all might be setting up an elaborate game of dominoes that ends in the inevitable collapse of the world of Teyvat? Well, here's the twist, friends. When the player first arrives in Liyue, we're told that Morax, after 6,000 years, has decided to retire. Not really, he actually decides to fake his own death so he can run around yucking it up in his human form. But whether real or not, the implication of his quote-unquote death are huge. Not only does it send everyone in Liyue into a panic over the fact that their guardian god is now supposedly dead, but it also throws the world's currency into chaos. Because remember, Morax is responsible for creating all of the Mora. Without him, there is no more. Period. The supply has reached its upper limit. And this isn't just a case of me overthinking the game's events. Genshin Impact actually comments directly on it.
Zhongli, now that you don't have your gnosis, what's going to happen to all the Mora in Teyvat? Since Morax is dead, are they all just going to disappear? Also, isn't the Golden House the only mint in the entire continent? Will it even continue to work?
The Mora present now will not vanish. But the Golden House will indeed have to cease operations for a lengthy period of time, since creating Mora requires the use of the Geo Archon's power.
This is terrible! We're all about to run out of Mora! The world is coming to an end!
Mind you, this doesn't seem to be a reversible decision. When he retired, Zhongli decided to give up the source of his divinity, an item known as a gnosis. The gnosis is an item that allows Archon gods to draw power from the heavenly realm, essentially amplifying their powers. Now, this entire scene is kind of played for laughs. After all, it's become a running joke at this point that Zhongli is naive when it comes to business. Apparently, despite spending a lifetime literally creating Mora, he never got the memo that you actually need to carry it around and pay for stuff.
He said it was half price, not that we could leave without paying.
No way.
The leap of faith. Some hesitate, but not you. You don't ask what if. You embrace what's next with open arms. You don't question the decision.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I must have forgotten to do that.
And it's not until after retiring from life as the god Morax that he realizes that, you know, might have been a good idea to take advantage of that money-making ability and put some aside for himself for a rainy day.
It's a shame that I didn't think of it at the time.
Who knew that the god of contracts would have such bad money sense? But in this scene, Haimon, your travel companion and emergency food source, is absolutely right. This is no laughing matter. Zhongli even acknowledges this.
Yes. This is indeed a major issue from a financial standpoint.
So what exactly are the financial implications for Teyvat now that its universal currency is no longer being minted? Well, what this one little joking dialogue opens up is a catastrophic end to all the advanced civilizations of the world. Oh yeah, this goes way further than just being an issue of dollars and cents. In the real world, if a government just stopped issuing new currency, the most immediate result would be deflation. You may be familiar with the word inflation. That's what happens when there's too much money or not enough goods to buy with that money, which results in rising prices. Deflation is, as you would expect, the opposite. It's the result of either there being a rising number of goods and or a decrease in the amount of money available. And it leads to prices falling as the limited amount of money out there in the market becomes more and more valuable. Woohoo! Lower costs are great, right? Nothing bad about that. Not according to economists. Most economists agree that deflation is a bad thing because it discourages spending. Think about it. If you know that there's a limited supply of money and there's never going to be any more, you're going to hold on to every cent that you have, and you're going to be really picky about what you spend it on. Plus, if you know that prices are going to be lower in the future, that actually discourages you from spending your money today. That loaf of bread that costs $2 today might cost $1 next week. So logically, you could hold on to your money and wait to buy it. That results in everyone hoarding their money. And by everyone, I do mean everyone. Not just regular consumers, but also business owners who are discouraged from spending money to grow their businesses by hiring new employees. And investors who just sit on their money instead of lending it out or investing it in new business. As the money supply dries up, employers are forced to either reduce wages or lay people off, or a combination of both, which ultimately leads to the economy growing weaker, resulting in a self-perpetuating cycle that results in more deflation, which leads to more unemployment and even lower wages. One of the most famous examples of a deflationary
Damn, is singing about Genshin Impact anymore? What the hell?
suffered the most extreme forms of all the things we just talked about. Reduced trade, falling profits, lower wages, higher unemployment. It was not a pretty picture. So is that the fate that awaits the world of Teyvat now that there's no new Mora being printed? No, my friends, it is actually much worse. Because the truth is that Mora isn't actually like the real world currencies that we're used to. And the differences make the situation that much more catastrophic. See, the things that come to mind when we usually think about money, US dollars, British pounds, Japanese yen, etc., are examples of what's known in economic terms as fiat currency. When you think about it, a dollar doesn't really have any intrinsic value. It's useful because you can use it to buy stuff, but say you were trapped in the middle of a desert with nobody to buy from, all the money in the world wouldn't mean a thing to you. Fiat money only usually comes about through government regulation. After all, I could just start making mat bucks, coins with my little face on them, and go to stores trying to buy things with my mat bucks, but nobody would want to take those coins no matter how much I insisted that they actually should be worth what I'm trying to buy. Historically, the only way to get people to accept fiat money is by forcing them, hence the need for a central government to issue the coin and collect taxes in that same currency. Suddenly the government has said these things have a certain value. But the truth about Mora is that it's not a fiat currency like dollars or euros, it's an actual commodity, like crude oil or steel or salt. Going back to the game's flavor text descriptions, a loading screen tip tells us that, quote, Mora is a catalyst of sorts, in that it's a medium for physical transformation. That is why so many things can only be accomplished through the use of Mora. In other words, Mora can actually be used to do things. For example, anytime you sit down at the alchemy crafting table, want to combine your 3 firm arrowheads to create 1 sharp arrowhead, well, that'll require 25 Mora. That's not a rental fee that you're paying for the use of the crafting table. You can use the crafting table at Obito's research post in Dragonspine long after he's abandoned it, but you'll still need to spend your Mora because the Mora is actually being consumed during the alchemical process. And when I say that Mora is used for all sorts of things in the world of Genshin Impact, I really mean it. Want to absorb the experience from a material like the Wanderer's Advice to raise your level? That's gonna require Mora. Want to take a weapon and refine it? Mora. Want to grind up your adventurer's pocket watch, tail feather, and bandana to enhance a crummy artifact? Can't be done without the use of Mora. There's something special about Mora that allows it to function as a catalyst, and apparently the only way to make it is with some sort of divine spark. In that sense, Mora isn't actually a fiat currency. It has inherent value that's used to become a unit of exchange. This is also something that we've seen happen in the real world. Throughout most of human history, people didn't have a big centralized government that could create money. They centralized money. Back in ancient times, Egypt, and many other civilizations around the Mediterranean would use salt as the medium of exchange. In fact, the word salary literally comes from the fact that soldiers in the Roman army sometimes received salt. Monthly amounts of salt was called a salarium.
次の仕事は？よっ。次の仕事は？ついていきます。申し込みする前に参加者の状況を把握しておこうぜ。確かこんにちは。
そうだが、君たちも申し込んだ。だったらまずは舞踏会の決まりを見てくるといい。南十字舞踏会は希望者全員が参加できるわけではないからな。舞踏会、誰もそんなことは望んでない。そうだろう？
おお、それならもう聞いたぞ。でもそっちは一体どんな実績の持ち主なの？
俺か。以前チコが
なんかあまり一般的なやつ。
そんな聞いたこと。大会の実績以外にも洗顔軍の代わりに砲刀団を捕まえたことがある。あの時だが俺は一歩も引かず回し結構重い傷。
まあオイラたちからすよし
闘技場でよ。
次の仕事は？
そこの若いの見たところ君もこの南十字舞踏会に参加しに来たのかな？つまり僕の
お前も言う。
そうだ、参加するなら目標は優勝しかないだろう。それに神の目は僕にとっていやいや別に具体的に何かしようとは思ってないさ。ただ完璧な人になりたいだけなんだ。少し自慢になってしまうけど僕の人生はこれまで何の挫折もない順調なものだった。どんな試験にも落ちたことがないし商売をすればかなりの儲けを得た。社交的な場でももちろん十分すぎるほどの出会いがあった。みんなの目には僕は完璧な人間として映っているだろう。だが僕はそれで満足はしない。だって完璧な存在になるにはあと一つ足りていないのだから。そう神の目さ。
こんなに自信満々なやつも珍しいな。
そんなのはそれにもちろん僕も何によし、僕は試合前の準備をしてくるよ。僕の登場を楽しみに待ってておくれ。
ああ、武芸を極めるため。しかし俺、はい、
その
あのお方はあれ、それもあの人は彼があれ
家系
気候の一種。例えば俺、過去に師匠に挑んだ人は確かにもちろんです。ただしかもその後ですので私たちも大丈夫。そうですね、そうすれば周りから
たり騙されてたり実力が普通だったりで、お前の方がすごいってことを大声で言ってやりたいぞ。
警察、次の方どうぞ。まずはお名前を教えてください。まさか
嘘でしょ。
本当に？あの人、神の目を。
その
やっぱり
操船儀式で
ちょっと彼女からこの舞踏会は神の目を持たない。本当で
も
すみません。形式的魔人オセルを討伐した
風魔流
優勝は
今からわかりました。はい、登録大英雄。
その
他にも
多分
でもなるほど。北斗姉様と事前に誰もとにかく。
そうだ、お前はだからそれにこの程度。じゃあ行く。
その自信に満ちた表情では。
大注目の優勝候補、彼女の1試合目が今始まるぜ。
君大英雄だったのか。こんなのどうやって勝てと言うんだ。
なんか一般人よりも弱かったな。あの自信はどこから来てたんだろう。とりあえず勝ったから北斗のところに行こう。何か話したいことがあるみたいだぞ。
さすがは私が見込んだつわものだ。あんたも見ただろ、カズハ。
そうである。
今までだから
悪くない勝負であった。
実はさっきそれから参加を申し込む人一般だから。
これがね、それに
それは
じゃあついに来たぞ、本日の大目玉。
どうやら姉君はこの勝負に大いに期待しているようだ。お主の実力では
おしゃべり。
あなたの大英雄様。
このレベルの対決ならこいつ。
はい、では入場。
やっと来たぜ、大注目の準決勝だ。リーユへの英雄と本大会の台風の目、勝つのは一体どっちだ。
商品に興味はない。お前が強ければそれだけで十分。
重い拳をデス。
あなたの準決勝の相手、名はそこまで知れ渡っていませんが、本武道会の台風の目となる選手でしょう。大英雄、
このレベルの対決なら。
はい。
手合わせしようじゃないか。
やっと来たぜ。大注目の準決勝だ。リーユへの英雄と本大会の台風の目、勝つのは一体どっちだ。
商品に興味はない。お前が強ければそれだけで十分。
重い拳を。白熱無人剣。
汗が認めよう。お前の
そうだ、もしお前
小さい子だが、それから神の目。いや敗北。
これ
機会があればまた勝負し。
そうだ。
俺より油断は。
おい、行っちゃった。決勝戦の相手について聞き込みに行こうぜ。全力を出さないとまずいかもしれないぞ。
君か。勝負は見させてもらったよ。見事だった。俺は参加。
決勝戦。
俺を少し隙を見せた。俺の大会でも
あれ、
家系で相手の線避けなかったのは怪我を負ったこの子。すみ。はい。
なんか役に立つ情報はなかったな。北斗に聞いてみよう。何か
実にお見事。あっぱれであった。相手のしかし迅速に体勢を立て、実は
あんたにとってこのちょっとそうでもない。彼はどうした。決勝戦
であればまだ学問を武芸にすお主のさ。
おいおい、
情報収集。彼女らは
そうだ
しかし拙者と共にあたりにお主は元素力を巧みに。
なんか
ああ、勝負で不利な場面に陥拙者はお主からお主らと神の目に頼ら。それに
匂いで
その複数の元素力を踏む。ではお主はいかにして
長い旅を正直。
もしかするだが拙者が持っている情報も共有しよう。さすれば平等な情報交換となるであろう。では
みんなを守るからね。
召喚化粧、風雪の縮図。
ついていきます。
一緒に遊ぼうよ。逃げようなんて思わないでよね。足元に気をつけて。
ふむ。決勝戦に進出した人物はそやつの勝利はそのほとんど、言い換えれば好き礼には及ばぬ。やはり
なんだ
拙者が何をもすまぬ不思議な力を見せてくれた礼、それが気になったのでござるか。今稲妻神の目とはもしももう
なんか
拙者がリーユへの契約がリーユへを生きる者のために少なくとも鎖に
なんか
おや前にいる時により、もし彼女を探したいのであれば彼女はその場所に居続けているでいつの日か。さあ
そうだな。
他にやることがないのであれば
まだか。まあいい。まずは全員静粛に。刺激的で金あまたの劇的、まず紹介。そう、
おお、
待ってました。準決勝本日の、そしてまあすまないがみんなもう何が。
待ってくれ姉君、お主も
どれどれ。盗まれ。そもそもまさか。
急ぐ必要と神の目は
分かった。私はここ
でも
拙者と共に来てくれ。ちょうど良い風が吹いている。今が絶好の機会。風に乗って行こう。そのまま次の手がかりを探すでござるよ。
そういえばどうして商品のことを確認しようと思ったんだ。
風が拙者たちを前へ導いてる。盗人は向こう岸に着いたようでござるな。
また聞こえたのか。一体どんな音なんだよ。
凄まじく得意げであった。この方角で間違いない。拙者についてきてくれ。道中待ち伏せを受けるかもしれぬがお主ならたやすく対処できるであろう。
走るより飛ぶ方が早いよ。
砲塔弾。どうやら拙者の予想と大差なかったでござるな。道を開けてもらうぞ。
この俺よりも足が速いとはな。逃げるためせっかく。
どれほど船が速かろうと。
風？何を言ってやがるんだ。くっそ、分かったぞ。ちくしょう、俺にも神の目があれば、この神の目を光らすことさえできれば、お前らなんかに
神の目とは関係ない。お主は群衆から姿を消すのが得意かもしれぬが、自然の目から逃れる術を知らなかった。それに言い換えれば、
お前。
だがそれ以外に拙者を一番失望させたのは、その手にある神の目の状態。やはりそれはどのような願望にも反応するわけではないようだ。
分かった分かった。今回は俺の負けだ。この神の目はずっと狙ってたものなんだ。今回の舞踏会の参加者は全員まともな流派すら持たない奴らと聞いて申し込んだ。せっかく順調に決勝まで進めたっていうのに。
お前が決勝戦の相手だったのか。
俺の実力なら優勝は間違いないと思ったんだ。それなのに突然お前らが現れて、準決勝を見た瞬間分かったよ。俺に勝ち目はないって。でもここまで来たのに神の目を諦めるわけにいかないだろ。正当な方法がダメなら、皆の注目が北斗とお前に集まっている間に過去に手を染めていた本業のやり方でと。あれほど準備したのに結局お前と。くさ。でもやっぱり悔しい。それは脅しか。分かった。だが約束は守ってもらうぞ。俺が持ってても光らなかったんだ。俺にとっちゃただのガラクタさ。
そういうわけにはいかぬ。盗みを働いた罪は海の規則にのっとり腕を切り落として償ってもらわなければ。
嘘だろ。
それに商品を盗んで決勝戦に参加しなかった。南十字戦隊の棟梁北斗に恥をかかせた。どうやら真っ赤に熱した鉄をお主の顔に当て、盗人の2文字を刻む必要があるでござるな。
おいおい、そこまでしなくてもいいんじゃないか。
くっそ、こんな残酷なやつだったのか。話し合いがダメならやるしかねえ。
とくと見るがいい。
ついていきます。部外者禁止、お触り禁止。この仕事は排除するべきですね。
覚えてろよ。
くっそ。
生死の狭間に神の目。どうした。 拙者
いやいやいや、
よくわかんなかったんだけど、脅しただけだったのか？
そのような趣味はない。ただ神の目がまだあやつの手の中にあったゆえ、最後の可能性を試してみたかったのでござる。人は窮地に陥った時、強大な力を発揮する。それが神の目を照らすきっかけになると思ったのだが、残念なことに何も起こらなかったでござるな。そうでござるよ。光の消えた神の目にあやつが神の目を盗んだ時から、この実験に利用させてもらおうと決めていたでござる。それに過去にも主なき神だが、さ
どうやら。
なるほど、気にするでない。
そうだぞ。
それについて彼は拙者の親友であった。ある日彼は拙者に無双の人たちを聞いたことがあるかと聞いてきた。拙者は当然、その人たちは神罰が下る時にのみ見られると答えた。それは雷電将軍が達した武の極み、最強である証。しかし彼はその人たち、手が届かなくもない。いつの日か雷帝に相対する者がこの地上に現れると言った。その後メガリレーが何の前触れもなく下された。人々の願望は永遠を構築する河原となり果てた。そして拙者が放浪をしていた時、彼がメガリレーの執行者に御前試合を申し込んだと聞いた。御前試合は厳粛で残酷なもの。敗者は神罰を受け、勝者は天気を勝ち取る。彼は自分こそが立ち上がるべき人間だと思ったのであろう。それに無双の人たちに相対するのが彼の願いでもあった。しかし拙者が天守閣に着いた頃、すでに御前試合は終わっていた。ただ神罰が下り、彼の刀が地面へと落ちる音が響いた。それが彼の見たかった光であったのであろう。最後の瞬間、彼はどのような顔をしていたのだろうか。想像する間もなかったでござる。拙者は光が失せゆく神の目を奪い、そこから逃げた。拙者に理解できたのは、彼の熱き願いを氷のように冷たき心臓へとはめ込むべきではないということのみ。だが拙者がやってきたことは結局のところ何の意味もなさなかったでござるよ。浪人の人生には旅の意義や道すがらの花鳥風月以外にも心に道があるのでござる。
カズハ
気まぐれに従ったまででござるよ。さあそろそろ戻るでござる。ではもう一度拙者がお主に風の導きを。
北斗ね、今回の南十字舞踏会の規模が北斗ねただ
実は称賛がしからば。
では 規則にのっとり。こんな。いえいえ、私は。
そうであろう。だが果てしな
石で
リーユへのモラ。とにかく市長聖号が稲妻に向けて出航するまでは時間がかかる。準備ができたらお主らに伝えよう。この機に拙者もこの地を歩き回ってみたいでござる。リーユへの広大な大地に神の目を呼び覚ますきっかけがないかを。
きっとうまくいくさ。
感謝する。お互いの旅に意味を見出せることを願っているでござるよ。最後に判決を下す。
走るより飛ぶ方が早いよ。逃げようなんて思わないでよね。おっ、ここだよ。いた。風だ。
火炎よ、燃やし尽くせ。
いやえい相関結晶。一緒に遊ぼうよ。
裁きを受けよ。
ここだよ。風だ。
組合会に まだ仕事。人が残っているんだ。